The private jet touched down at Tambo International Airport at 12:47 p.m. on February 14th. Park Min-jun stepped onto the tarmac clutching a bouquet of roses that cost more than most people's monthly salary, his Patek Philippe catching the Johannesburg sun. He'd rehearsed his proposal in 3 languages during the flight. What he hadn't rehearsed was walking into a wedding venue decorated in white draping and rose gold accents, where the woman he planned to propose to was standing in a bridal suite, crying in her wedding gown, minutes away from marrying another man. Jinwoo, his right-hand man, tried one last time. "Hyung-nim, maybe we should confirm the address." Min-jun cut him off. "I've been planning this for weeks. Today everything changes." He had no idea how right he was. "Before we continue, I want to welcome you to Seoul Syndicate Romance. First time here, you're already in. Stay close, this story's already in motion. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means a lot to this channel." But to understand how it got here, we need to go back to when it all started. 3 years earlier, Thandiwe Khumalo had exactly 6 weeks to prove herself. The international consulting firm she worked for had sent her to Seoul as part of an emerging markets assessment team. Junior analysts didn't usually get assignments like this, but her report on sub-Saharan infrastructure investment had impressed someone 3 levels above her pay grade. So there she was, 26 years old, stepping off a plane into a city that moved at a speed Johannesburg never taught her to handle. The hotel was in Gangnam. The meetings were relentless. The team leader was a woman named Patricia who spoke 4 languages and expected everyone to keep pace or disappear. Thandiwe spent her first week drowning. The second week, she learned to swim. By the 3rd week, she was presenting findings to Korean investment firms in conference rooms with views that made her forget to breathe. That's where she met him. The meeting was at a private equity firm in a building so sleek it looked like it belonged in a science fiction film. Thandiwe was 3rd in the presentation rotation, discussing market volatility and infrastructure gaps in southern Africa. She'd rehearsed her section 40 times. It went perfectly. Then the questions started. Most were standard, one wasn't. A man in the back row, late 20s, suit that probably cost more than her entire wardrobe, spoke in perfect English with barely a trace of accent. "Your model accounts for political instability, but assumes consistent Chinese investment. What happens when Beijing shifts priority to East African ports?" Thandiwe blinked. It was the exact vulnerability she'd noticed but been told to minimize by Patricia. Then the timeline extends by 18 to 24 months, and return on investment drops by approximately 7%. But the fundamentals remain sound if local governments can attract alternative funding. The man's expression didn't change. Alternative funding from where? Private equity firms willing to take longer-term positions. Firms like yours. Something flickered in his eyes, almost amusement but controlled. Interesting. After the meeting, Patricia pulled her aside. "Do you know who that was?" "No." "Park Min-jun, one of the youngest investors in Seoul, family money, but he's tripled it in 5 years. If he liked your presentation, we're golden." Thandiwe's phone buzzed an hour later. Unknown number, Korean country code. "Your analysis was the only one worth remembering. Dinner tonight, P." She should have said no. Should have recognized the presumption in a text that didn't ask, just expected. But she was 26 in a foreign country, and someone who clearly mattered had noticed her work. She typed back, "How did you get my number?" The response came immediately. "I notice things. 8 p.m. I'll send a car." The restaurant was in Itaewon, tucked away on a street Thandiwe would never have found alone. Min-jun was already there when she arrived, seated at a private table with a view of Seoul Tower lit against the night sky. He stood when she approached, bowed slightly. "Thank you for coming." Thank you for the invitation. She sat, suddenly aware of how underdressed she was, though it felt less like an invitation and more like a summons. Would you have come if I'd asked politely? I might have. Might isn't yes. He poured water for both of them. I don't gamble on might. What do you gamble on? Certainty, which is why I invited you. Your presentation had something the others lacked. What's that? Honesty. Everyone else told us what we wanted to hear. You told us what we needed to know. Thandiwe relaxed slightly. My boss wasn't thrilled about that. Your boss is mediocre, you're not. It should have sounded arrogant. Instead, it sounded like an observation, clinical and detached. They talked about markets, investment strategies, the difference between African and Asian business culture. Min-jun asked questions that revealed he'd read not just her presentation, but her previous reports. He challenged her assumptions in ways that made her defend them passionately. By dessert, Thandiwe realized 2 hours had passed without her noticing. You never told me what you actually do, she said. I know you're in private equity, but import-export primarily, luxury goods, art, antiquities, some venture capital on the side. That's vague. It's intentional. Why? Because specificity invites questions I don't enjoy answering. Warning signs. Thandiwe recognized them, ignored them, because when the check came and Min-jun insisted on paying, then asked if she was free tomorrow, she said yes. It became a pattern. Meetings during the day, Min-jun in the evening. He showed her soul beyond the tourist sites, private art galleries, rooftop gardens, restaurants that didn't have signs. He spoke to her in English but switched to Korean with waiters, always in a tone that got immediate compliance. You're very used to people doing what you want, Thandiwe observed one night. Is that a criticism? An observation. I could say the same about you. You don't back down in meetings. That's different. I'm defending my work. So am I. She learned small things. He was second-generation wealth. His father had built an empire. Min-jun had expanded it. He was fluent in 7 languages. He never mentioned his mother. He worked 18-hour days and considered sleep optional. And he was interested in her in a way that felt deliberate, focused, like she was a problem he decided to solve. 3 weeks in, he kissed her. They were on a rooftop in Hanam-dong, Seoul spread below them like scattered light, and he just asked about her family. My mom's a teacher in Durban. My dad works construction. Sister just finished university. You send money home. How did you? You mentioned delaying a car purchase, and you wear the same 3 outfits to our dinners. You're not careless with money. You're supporting someone. Thandiwe felt exposed. Is that a problem? No, it's admirable. He moved closer. Most people in your position would pretend to be wealthier than they are. You don't pretend to be anything. I don't know how. Good, don't learn. When he kissed her, it felt like a decision he'd made after careful consideration. Thorough, intense, completely present. Afterward she asked, is this a good idea? Probably not. I don't do relationships well. Why not? Because I'm rarely where I should be. My work requires absence. Then why pursue this? He was quiet for a long time. Because you make me want to try anyway. Thandiwe's 6 weeks ended too quickly. The night before her flight, Min-jun took her to the Han River. I'll visit, he said. Johannesburg isn't far. It's 9,000 kilometers. Distance is just logistics. He handed her a box. Inside was a phone, newest model, expensive. Keep this. Korean number programmed in. Call whenever you want. Min-jun, this is too much. It's practical. I need to be able to reach you. She looked at him carefully. What are we doing, really? I don't know, but I want to find out. At the airport the next morning, he kissed her goodbye like he was memorizing the feeling. I'll call you tonight. He did, and the night after, and every night for 3 months. Long-distance love is built on voices and trust, and filling gaps with imagination. Min-jun called every day, sometimes at 3 a.m. Johannesburg time because it was the only window in his schedule. They talked about everything: her work presentations, his expansion into European markets, her mother's insistence on meeting this mysterious Korean man. "She thinks you're imaginary," Thandiwe said one night. "I'm very real." "Prove it, come visit." "I will soon." Soon became a flexible concept, but he sent flowers to her office, remembered her mother's birthday and sent a gift, flew her back to Seoul twice in the first year. The second visit, she met Jinwoo properly. The man looked at her like she was a security breach he hadn't been briefed on. "Does he always carry a gun?" she asked Min-jun later. "It's Seoul, it's safe." "That's not an answer. It's the only one I'm giving." She saw his apartment that trip. Minimalist, expensive, personality-free except for one photo on his desk, the two of them at the Han River. "You kept this." "I keep what matters." But there were things he didn't keep, didn't share. Calls he took in other rooms, meetings that started late, ended later with no explanation. Thandiwe worked in finance, she recognized evasion. She just chose to ignore it, because when Min-jun was present, he was entirely present. Listened when she talked about wanting to start her own firm someday, believed in her with absolute certainty. "You will," he said. "You don't know that. I know you." The promotion came in April. Senior analyst, her own team, significant raise. Thandiwe called Min-jun immediately. He didn't answer. She tried again, nothing. 3 hours passed, then 6. He called back at 11 p.m., voice distant. "Sorry, work situation." "I got promoted." Pause, "That's good." "That's good. Min-jun, I've been working toward this for 4 years." "I know, congratulations, I have to go." "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, I'll call tomorrow." He didn't call the next day, or the one after. When he finally surfaced, he apologized, sent a Cartier watch Thandiwe felt uncomfortable wearing, and acted like disappearing was normal. The second crack came 3 months later. Thandiwe was having dinner with Lindy when she saw the news alert. Major raid on smuggling ring in Seoul, 6 arrested. Authorities seek additional suspects. Luxury goods, art smuggling, organized crime connections. She called Min-jun, voicemail. She called Jinwoo. He answered on the first ring. "Is he safe?" Jinwoo hesitated. "Define safe." "Jinwoo. He's handling it, don't worry." "Is he involved in?" "I can't discuss this. He'll call when he can." Min-jun called 3 days later, exhausted, giving her nothing. "It's handled. Business complication." "Are you in danger?" "No more than usual." "That's not reassuring." "I know, quieter, I'm sorry. This isn't the life I want for you." "Then change it." Silence. "I'm working on something. Something that will let me step back, be more present. I just need time." "How much time?" "I don't know, but I promised Thandiwe. When this is done, I'm yours completely." Promises are easy. Presence is hard. Thandiwe's mother called on a Tuesday in October. Her voice was wrong, too steady, the way people sound when they're trying not to fall apart. "Tandy, I need you to come home this weekend. There's something we need to discuss." Thandiwe knew before the words came. Cancer stage 4. Breast cancer metastasized to lymph nodes, possibly lungs. 6 months, maybe a year with treatment. She called Min-jun. He was in Tokyo. "My mom has cancer." She heard him stand, heard a door close. "How bad?" "Bad." "I'll fly out tomorrow. We'll get her the best treatment. Switzerland has specialists." "Min-jun, I don't need specialists. I need you." "I know, I'll be there, I promise." When? I'm in the middle of negotiations that. When Min-jun? Pause 2 weeks, maybe 3. I'll send money immediately, whatever she needs. Thandiwe closed her eyes. Thank you. She should have screamed that money wasn't presents, but grief takes your fight. Min-jun sent 150 million within an hour. He didn't come in 2 weeks, or 3. Saifo Dlamini had been Thandiwe's friend since primary school. The boy who shared his lunch, walked her home when older kids were cruel. He'd spent 5 years in Cape Town doing social work, but his father's illness brought him back to Durban in November. He showed up at the hospital on a Saturday with flowers for Mama Khumalo and a gentle smile. Heard you were here, thought you could use company. Thandiwe hadn't realized how lonely she'd been until someone offered to simply sit. Saifo didn't try to fix anything, didn't offer money or solutions. He just sat in uncomfortable hospital chairs, helped Mama Khumalo with crossword puzzles, made Thandiwe laugh with stories about terrible dates and community center disasters. You're good at this, Thandiwe said one evening, being present. It's not hard, you just show up. It sounded simple, maybe it was. Min-jun called every other day, asked about treatments, sent more money, promised he was almost done with Tokyo. Thandiwe stopped asking when he'd come. Mama Khumalo noticed. Where is this man of yours, Thandiwe? Working. Working? Her mother's voice was weak but pointed. And you're here alone. I'm not alone. Lindio visits Saifo's bin. Saifo, Mama smiled. That boy always had a good heart. Mama, don't. I'm not starting anything, I'm observing. Your Min-jun sends money. Saifo sends himself. There's a difference. There was. Thandiwe just wasn't ready to admit it. Mama Khumalo died on December 18th, 3 days before her 62nd birthday. Thandiwe was holding her hand. Saifo was in the room. Lindio was crying in the hallway. Min-jun was in Seoul, unreachable because of time differences, and a meeting he couldn't leave. He sent flowers, expensive arrangements that filled the funeral home. He called the morning of the funeral, voice thick. I'm so sorry, I should have been there. Yes, you should have. I'll come now, I'll catch the next flight. Don't, Thandiwe's voice was flat. It's done, she's gone. Thandiwe. I need to go. She hung up. At the funeral, Saifo stood beside her, not holding her hand, that would be presumptuous, just close enough that she wasn't alone. When she broke during the eulogy, he put a hand on her shoulder, steady, solid. Afterward at the house, Thandiwe found Saifo on the back porch. Thank you for everything. You don't thank people for showing up, Thandiwe. It's basic decency. Not everyone shows up. Saifo looked at her carefully. I know. That night Thandiwe blocked Min-jun's number. Not forever, just until she could breathe. Min-jun tried email, letters through Jinwoo, flowers to her office. Thandiwe didn't respond. What could she say? Her mother had died asking about the man Thandiwe spent 3 years defending, died without meeting him. Saifo didn't push, just existed in her orbit, bringing food, sitting in silence, helping clean out Mama's house without being asked. One evening, surrounded by boxes, Thandiwe broke. I don't know how to do this without her. Saifo put down the photo album he'd been sorting. You're doing it right now, one breath at a time. It doesn't feel like enough. Grief never does. They sat in silence, then. Thandiwe, can I ask you something? You can tell me to mind my business. Okay. This man in Seoul, do you love him because he's good for you, or because you've invested too much to walk away? The question landed like a punch. I don't know anymore. Then maybe it's time to figure it out. Saifo proposed on February 2nd in Thandiwe's childhood home, surrounded by boxes. He didn't get on one knee, didn't have elaborate speeches, just held her hands. Tandy, I've loved you since we were kids. I know you're still healing. I know your heart is complicated, but I want to spend my life showing up for you. Not someday. Now, every day. A simple gold band. Marry me. Build a life with someone who will be here, really here. Tandy looked at this good, steady man who'd held her together when she was breaking. She thought about Min-jun, airport reunions, expensive gifts, promises perpetually deferred, 3 years of waiting for a man who could stop time for business but never for her. Yes. Saifo's smile was relief and joy and something bittersweet, like he knew he was winning by default but was too kind to say it. They set the date for Valentine's Day, 2 weeks away. Quick, because Thandiwe needed to move forward, not backward. She unblocked Min-jun's number 3 days before the wedding, not to tell him, just to stop hiding. He called within an hour. Thandiwe, thank God, I've been trying to reach you for 2 months. Are you okay? I'm so sorry about your mother. Min-jun, steady, I'm getting married. Silence complete, devastating. To who? His name is Saifo. He's a good man. He was there when I needed someone. When? February 14th. Tandy, wait, please don't do this. I know I messed up, but I love you. I'm coming there right now. There's nothing to fix. I made my choice. You made it because I wasn't there, but I'm here now. You're 3 months too late. She hung up. Min-jun stared at his phone in his Seoul penthouse, then turned to Jinwoo. Book the jet. We're going to Johannesburg. Hyungnim, maybe. Now Jinwoo. The garden venue in Santon was perfect. Intimate, elegant, exactly what Thandiwe wanted. 150 guests, pink and white roses, sunset ceremony overlooking Johannesburg. Thandiwe stood in the bridal suite at 1:30 p.m. in a gown her mother would have loved, and cried for reasons she couldn't explain. Lindio noticed. Sis, why are you crying? I know. Then why? Because I'm marrying a great guy, and I'm still thinking about the wrong one. Lindio sat beside her. Want me to stall? We can fake a wardrobe malfunction. No, I'm doing this. Saifo deserves someone who chooses him completely. I'm trying. The door burst open. A bridesmaid, breathless. Thandiwe, there's a situation. Min-jun had arrived 20 minutes earlier in black SUVs, clutching roses, wearing a suit that cost more than the wedding budget. He saw the white draping, the rose arches, guests taking seats. Jinwoo beside him. Hyungnim, she's really getting married. I can see that. Baba Khumalo noticed them first, walked down with the stride of a man protecting his family. Can I help you? Min-jun bowed slightly. I'm Park Min-jun, I'm here for Thandiwe. Baba's eyes narrowed. You're the one from Seoul. Yes. The one who sent flowers when my wife died instead of showing up. Min-jun's jaw tightened. Yes. Then turn around and leave. My daughter deserves better. I agree, but I'm still here. Before Baba could respond, Saifo appeared. Saw Min-jun. His expression shifted from confusion to understanding to barely controlled rage. He walked toward them, guests noticed, whispers spread. Saifo didn't stop until he was inches from Min-jun's face. You've got some nerve. Min-jun held Saifo's gaze. I know. Do you? Saifo's voice shook. Do you have any idea what I had to do for her while you were too busy? I held her while she screamed in hospital corridors. I sat with her mother while she died. I picked up the pieces of a woman you broke. You're right. The agreement caught Saifo off guard. What? Everything you're saying is right. I failed her. I was a coward, and you were the man I should have been. Saifo's fists clenched. Then why are you here? To destroy the one good thing she's built after you destroyed her. I'm here because I love her, and I know I don't deserve her, but I had to try. Try? Saifo laughed bitterly. You think love is about trying when it's convenient. Love is showing up when it's hard, when you're exhausted, When there's nothing in it for you, I did that. Where were you? Guests were filming. Someone called for security, but the bridal suite door opened. Thandiwe appeared at the top of the stairs in her wedding gown, mascara running. Stop, both of you, stop. She walked down slowly, guests parted. When she reached them, she looked at Min-jun with fury and heartbreak. You have no right to be here. Do you understand that? No right. Min-jun's voice cracked. I know. But my mother died asking about you. She wanted to meet the man I spent 3 years defending, and you sent flowers, Min-jun. Flowers. I know. You don't know anything. Her voice rose. I waited for you. I made excuses. He's building our future, I told everyone. But there is no future with a ghost. She was sobbing. Thandiwe tried to approach, but Thandiwe held up a hand. Saifo stepped forward gently. Thandiwe, baby, let's go inside. We don't need. I can't marry you, Saifo. The words dropped like a bomb. Saifo froze. What? I'm so sorry. I thought I could do this. I thought loving someone who was present was enough, but I've been lying to you, and to myself. Saifo's face went through 5 emotions in 2 seconds. Are you serious right now? I'm standing here in a tuxedo, Thandiwe. Our families are here. I've spent 6 months proving I'm not him. I know. You think sorry fixes this? His voice shattered. I loved you when you had nothing left, when you were broken, and this is what I get. Baba tried to intervene. Saifo, please. No disrespect, Baba, but your daughter just humiliated me in front of everyone for a man who couldn't show up when her mother was dying. He turned to Min-jun, pointing. You think you won. You didn't win anything. You just proved money can destroy even good women. Min-jun's voice was quiet. I don't think I won. I think we all lost something today. Saifo laughed bitterly. Philosophical, how noble for a criminal. He ripped off his boutonniere, threw it down. When he looked at Thandiwe again, his eyes were red. I really loved you, Thandiwe. I would have spent my life proving it, but I won't compete with a fantasy. When he disappears again, and he will, don't come looking for me. He turned to the stunned guests. Weddings off, bars still open though. Somebody should enjoy this disaster. He stormed toward the parking lot. The venue erupted. Guests whispering, filming, horrified. Thandiwe screaming at Min-jun. Baba sitting down, head in hands. Thandiwe collapsed on the stairs, sobbing. Jinwoo leaned toward Min-jun. We should leave. No. Min-jun walked through chaos and sat on the stairs beside Thandiwe. Guests watched, horrified. Thandiwe. She didn't look at him. Leave, please, just leave. I will if that's what you want. But first, hear this. He pulled out his phone, played a voice message. Mama Khumalo's voice filled the air. Min-jun, my daughter speaks so highly of you. I'm dying and I won't get to meet you. But I need you to know something. Thandiwe doesn't need wealth. She needs presence. If you love her, prove it. Don't let her become a woman who waits for a man who never comes. Don't let her become me. The recording ended. Even Thandiwe stopped yelling. Min-jun's voice cracked. Your mother called me the day before she died. I was in a meeting. I sent it to voicemail. By the time I listened, she was gone. Thandiwe looked at him for the first time. You never told me. Because I was ashamed. I ignored a dying woman's call. What kind of man does that? He stood, addressed everyone. I came here thinking I could fix everything with roses and a ring. I was wrong. I destroyed something beautiful because I thought love could wait. Saifo is right. I don't deserve her. He does. He showed up. Baba stood, voice shaking. Then why did you ruin my daughter's wedding? Because I'm a selfish man, Baba, I thought. Maybe love deserved one honest chance, not built on money, but on truth. He turned to Thandiwe. I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm not asking forgiveness. I'm asking permission to prove I've changed, every day, however long it takes. Thandiwe stood, mascara stained. And if I say no, if I tell you to go back to Seoul, then I go, and I live knowing I lost the only real thing I ever had. Footsteps, everyone turned. Saifo had returned, jacket off, tie loosened, eyes red. Don't make promises you can't keep, Min-jun. Min-jun faced him. I mean it. Then prove it, right now. Saifo's voice was harsh. Stay in South Africa, not in some penthouse. No bodyguards, no private jets. Live like a normal man, get a job, be present, 6 months. If you can do that, maybe you deserve her. But if you run back to your empire. He turned to Thandiwe. Tandy, I'm done being your safety net. But I love you enough to give you this. Choose him if you want. But make him earn it, like I earned every smile from you. Thandiwe was crying. Saifo, I never meant to hurt you. I know, but you did. His voice softened. And that's something I'll have to live with. He kissed her forehead. A goodbye, not romance, and walked away. This time, he didn't look back. Thandiwe stood between her ruined wedding and Min-jun. You want to prove you've changed? Yes. Then do what Saifo said. Stay. No empire, no excuses. Be a normal man. If you can do that, we'll see. Min-jun turned to Jinwoo. Cancel the return flight. Find me an apartment, a normal one. Hyung-nim, the organization, can survive without me for 6 months. This matters more. Baba approached. Young man, you destroyed my daughter's wedding. If you stay, you work for me. I run a construction company. You'll work with your hands, no special treatment. Min-jun bowed. Yes, Baba. Lindu crossed her arms. And you're staying in our guest room, where I can watch you. One wrong move, I'm calling Saifo. Understood. Thandiwe looked at him, exhausted. This isn't forgiveness. This is a chance, don't waste it. I won't. Min-jun learned what normal meant. Waking at 5 a.m. for construction. Sunburn. Exhaustion. Living in Baba's guest room where Lindu monitored everything. Driving Thandiwe to work in Baba's old truck. He attended therapy. Addressed his inability to be present. Learned Zulu from Lindu, who made him repeat phrases until acceptable. He sat at Mama Khumalo's grave every Sunday. I'm trying, Mama. I know I'm late, but I'm trying. Thandiwe kept him at arm's length for 3 months. Coffee together, nothing more. Testing whether he'd stay when it wasn't glamorous. He stayed. By month 4, they were talking like before. By month 5, she laughed at his terrible Zulu. By month 6, she believed he'd changed. The garden venue again, but smaller, intimate. Thandiwe in a simple dress. Min-jun in a suit with a Zulu sash. Baba walked her down the aisle, tears in his eyes. Lindu stood as maid of honor, still watching Min-jun. Jinwoo was best man. And Saifo sat in the 3rd row with a new girlfriend, genuinely smiling. Min-jun's vows. Thandiwe, 1 year ago I thought I could buy your love back. Instead, I learned what love costs. Pride, time, presence. I'm not perfect, but I'm present, and I'll choose you every single day. Thandiwe's vows. Min-jun, you broke me. Then you did the hardest thing, you changed. Not for show, because you understood what love requires. I choose you, not who you were, who you became. The kiss, applause. At the reception, Saifo approached Min-jun at the bar. Congratulations. Thank you, and thank you for what you said that day. You saved me from myself. I didn't do it for you, I did it for her. I know, and I'm sorry. Don't, we both loved her, but you were willing to change your entire life. That's real. They shook hands, not friendship, respect. Later, dancing, Thandiwe whispered. My mother would have liked this version of you. Min-jun's voice caught. I wish I could have been this version when she was alive. She knows, wherever she is, she knows. The lesson wasn't that love conquers all. It was that love requires showing up, especially when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, and costs you everything you thought mattered. Min-jun flew across the world expecting a fairy tale. Instead, he found the hardest truth. That presence is the only currency love actually accepts. And sometimes, the person who loves you most is the one brave enough to walk away so you can choose honestly. If you made it this far, you were meant to hear this story. Don't just watch, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comments. Would you have chosen presence or promise? The difference might change your life. See you in the next one.